how do you do due diligence on who's going to pay you, who isn't? Because as you said, that was the major pain point. There are other pain points, which I'm going to ask you later again. But that one major pain point, how do you, how do you do due diligence to make sure you're going to get paid?
It depends on, obviously, on a lot of factors, especially in regards to the industry. Back in the day, it would be getting on the phone and working out who works where and having a chat to them, right? And then it became a little bit more that you had to really do a little bit more due diligence and make sure that these people have some sort of reputation that you could follow.
Right.
What we often saw, for example, was that small guys would come into the industry and they would be way better and suited, and their technologies are fantastic. And you couldn't really find much on their reputation, but they outshone because they were a newcomer and were enthusiastic. You're more established partners. Sometimes you have to take that risk, and that's how new technology has evolved and developed. So I think that there's a number of different factors, a number of different things that you can do, but it really comes down to making sure that you know and understand the product, just as you would, if you were buying anything else, that you can have good access and relationships. And at the same time, you've got to have an element of distrust. Even as seasoned professionals, we still have to look at other elements in the industry and double take now and work out, hold on, what's the scam here? Whereas before it was really simple to see, and now everything is a little bit different. So I look for a lot of things, including the reputations of people. The people that I work with in the industry at the moment are very, very limited, because I've been in it for so long to know that, there's a lot of, it's still the Wild West, right?
Right. It will always be, let's be honest. It'll always be a bit of the Wild West.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is also can be seen in a positive element because, new things come about and grow as a result.
Exactly.
But what I've learned as I've got older and wiser to bullshit that people, try and spew down the phone or over Zoom, is that the real worth is my network and my network of those people who have performed, who are still doing what they were doing years ago. They may have changed the company, they may have gone on a different path, but they were the same people and they've still got the same contacts and they've been doing the same thing, and they may have made mistakes, but they're still moving forward, rather than you check in 1 month and 2 months down the line, you go back and there's nothing there, right? Those things never last. Those people who are associated with that, that's not my risk, right? My risk or what I'm interested in minimizing my risk is making sure that I get 10%, for example, 10% of something rather than 0% of, everything. And that means that I'm not just looking at it from a monetary standpoint. I'm looking at it as something that can be consistent and that can be scalable, and that's something that is actually enjoyable, right? Rather than filling out shit ton of paperwork, staring at screens, making sure this is connected to that, hoping that this guy's brought the coffee, all that sort of shit. That's wastes your time when we've got technology that does all of those things. And as an intermediary, you've got other elements of your business to look after.
I'm a big believer in automation, right?
Right.
It's one of the things that I think it's one of the things that helps us with scalability, for example, even as an affiliate marketer, right? Your entire system that you built out, right, which we're going to talk about probably next time, not this time, it's also based on automation. And I remember when we first spoke, it's because you said, as you just said now, my net worth, right, is your network, which is a glorious sentence, by the way. And the rest, the emails, because nowadays selling is not like before. Nowadays, a lot of it is being done digitally via email, via videos that people just click on and see, without you having to speak with them. And at the end, you can speak with them to really close the deal, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So back in the day, obviously, we were door knockers, right? And, a presentation meant going into the bank or into the the family office, or maybe even visiting the customer directly, at least having a tabletop meeting kind of thing.
Right.
Look me in my eyes and you'll know my worth, all that sort of stuff. That's all old school now, right? And, we're dinosaurs if we don't adapt. So You know, technology, I think anybody that says that it's not, you know, working in our favor in this sense is misguided, because clearly there are people who can set up, you know, social media accounts and make fortunes just from doing little TikTok dances that you watch last thing at night, right? And they're making a fuck ton of money. And a lot of, and just like in Forex, a lot of them say that they're making a shit ton of money and they're not making a dime, right?
Right.
But the thing is they're attracting viewers and they're getting users to come along and do stuff. And it's like,
well, they're making money for someone, maybe not for themselves, but they're making money for someone.
right. And they have a megaphone to a much larger audience, whereas before we were more sort of sniperish, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's great, because when you marry the two in together, and the person or the thing that's doing the marriage is the automation, that brings in scalability. For someone like me that is notoriously disorganized, I know that I can take a lot of time out in the beginning to master some automation, and then I have a much easier life, because I don't have to worry about getting in contact with that person, because it's already, the email has been sent out, it's already updated in my CRM. If I need to speak to them, they'll book into my calendar when I choose is right. Then it comes up, then we have the automated conference call. It's just shit that I don't have to worry about. And especially as more and more meetings pile up as a result of you being a fantastic prospector using automation, then you have to be able to manage that as well. And one of my biggest pet peeves was running managed accounts and trying to work out if my brokers had received the paperwork, if they've received the funds of the customer, is the account open? When are we going to get the logins? When can we connect this? When can we do that? And I would spend most of my time really chasing their back office, which would inevitably be the front office guy just sweet talking me saying, yeah, I'm going to go and check it out. And him going, what the fuck is he talking about? Right? Because, you know, and then they would come back with something, you know, and pretend it was amazing. Like they would automatically put our rebates into an account so we could watch it in real time. And I was like, that's the most, you know, that's great. That's what we want to see. But that's so fucking big. Like that should
hold on. Like you said, we're dinosaurs. Now that's basic. When we first started, we were happy to get reports, you know, once in a while. We knew they were probably being done manually.
Yeah, and yeah. So let me cement that by saying that when they offer that now, it's that sort of thing. Yes, when that first came out, it was you wouldn't have it any other way, right? It was exactly what you want. I mean, there's some things still which just, you know, ignites my heart thinking about having what I used to call a one-way MetaTrader account, which was just the way we used to collect the pips. The fucking never went down, right? It was always a steady, smooth thing, right?
Yeah.
But still, even then, there was this element of fear, right? You've built up your pip account, for example.
Yep.
Your monthly calculations have gone out, so there's a bit of profit share which they dump in there as well, and now you've got to withdraw it. And
yes,
that's again, thankfully, it's not so much as printing out and scanning an authorization form and sending it back in, right? Now it's a little bit more supposedly automated, but a lot of the time there is that, you know, shit your pants for 3 days. Or,
well, nowadays it's shit your pants for 24 hours because it usually comes pretty fast.
Now we're in a position where technology can facilitate faster payments, which not only is better for the company to pay out better, right? Because you get a loyalty of agents, but also for the agents, you know as well as I do, and anybody who's an agent will be listening to this, if you got a solid payout 2, 3, 4 months in a row, then you know that you've got a good partner that you can work with, more likely to continue pushing business there. Why would you risk it than anywhere else, right? So, you know, those things now are available to us, and if we're not using those as intermediaries or as agents, whatever we want to say, we are archaic and we're going to find it difficult to get business.